Hello, my lovely beer gobblers. I'm Nige.
That sounded just a little bit sinister.
Oh dear. Never mind.
But never mind. Yeah,
And
I'm Anders.
that's right, you're Anders.
I'm Anders. And welcome to a cheeky extra. I think you can tell we're on a cheeky extra because, you know,
We've had some beer already. We've had some
we've
lagers.
we've started this in a very loose and relaxed manner. I think you can tell.
Yes.
Nige, you picked the beer up that we're going to do.
Yes.
Tell everybody about it. Go on.
Well, I was looking for another beer from a nice man in Link Wines in Malvern. So sorry we haven't got that one, which I was very, very disappointed. We said we've got another really nice stout. And it was meant to be £9.50 because it was near its sell-by date. It was a fiver. And it's by Deya.
Deya. A fine brewery.
Closing time, and it's export stout, ABV 11.3%.
Do you know what? Closing time, as soon as you said closing time, it just reminded me of a song by Deacon Blue called Closing Time.
Yeah.
From the Sublime album, Fellow Hoodlums.
Yeah.
Enough said, move on. Put your beer cam on, let's pour it, let's get on with it, shall we?
No, I'm going to read a little bit first.
Oh, okay, sorry, beg your pardon.
It says, an export stout made with York's finest.
Who?
They're not into punctuation here. It's an export stout made with York's finest. That should be full stop. The House of the Trembling Madness! Exclamation mark. There is one there that time. Pouring near black with lots of dark roasty flavors from the malt bill and the bittersweet finish. This stout will have you wishing you stayed a little longer. I think they need to employ a copywriter just to structure.
I think they do, yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm going to write to them. Say something.
Trembling Madness. On the side of the can there. Can you see?
So there is. There's a lot going on. I'm a big fan of Deya.
Yes, as I am. And
I've never had a bad beer from Deya.
I hope this isn't going to be. Anyway, beer can. Oh,
okay, on you go.
Into the glass.
Do it.
Says serve chilled.
Mine's been in the fridge for a little while.
Mine's been in the fridge, yep.
Oh, the aroma as soon as you open it. That's
Oh.
In fairness, the smell that's coming through is alcohol. It smells very strong. Do you get that?
No, I'm not getting too much alcohol from it.
No?
It is there. It's the alcohol coming off reminds me of McEwen's Champion, the strong Scotch one.
Oh, hello, yes.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of that with the alcohol vapor coming off.
Right.
But it's got that dark roasty malt, the roasted malt smell. It's actually quite nice. I quite like that smell.
Oh, it smells. I wasn't dissing it like nothing.
But it is laced with that alcohol.
Yeah. It smells gorgeous. It really does.
I'm getting in. Cheers.
Chin chin.
I reckon you quite like this.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I might have been off thinking about something else. It happens. But did you tell the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, about the ABV?
11.3%, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That doesn't taste like 11.3%.
It certainly doesn't.
That is dangerously subtle.
It's there. I wouldn't put it. It's hidden. We had one the other week, which was just not there.
Yeah.
That alcohol is coming through, but I wouldn't put it at 11. I'll put it at sort of
8, 7, 8.
7. I'll put it in with your McCoon's champion rate. You can
Yeah.
It's that sort of taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
The strong hints of coffee coming through there, which you know what I'm like with my coffee.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
But having said that, it's good quality.
I mean, one thing you know you're going to get from Deya is quality.
Yeah.
I mean, they are a sublime brewery. They're one of those breweries that just constantly knocks out decent beers. Perhaps nothing stunning.
I don't know.
That it's a little harsh.
We've had some strong stouts over the last few weeks. We've had the Voyager, and that yesterday, today, and tomorrow, or whatever it was from Fixed Wheel, which was just
man alive, that was astonishing.
For me, that is now my benchmark.
Yes.
That falls short. If I had that a few weeks ago, that would be my benchmark.
Yeah.
But at 8, because I've had.
No, you're right. It's today and tomorrow. It was a game changer.
Yeah.
The other one we did, Voyage, we did when we were far too pissed.
Yes.
And didn't really take note of it. So
I
think what we might do in the future.
I can't remember anything about it.
No, me neither. So I think foolishly, we might do a Voyage versus Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow at some point.
If we can get hold of another can off the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going in for a second chunk.
I've got a funny feeling this is going to get quite heavy towards the end.
I think you might be right.
The flavour's still
whether
there.
We'll notice or not by that point, I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Because I can see over your shoulder. Just get it out. Go on.
David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust.
And the Spiders from Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was aware of Bowie for a long time in my youth. And he never matched up to people like Led Zepp or Pink Floyd or Marillion. But the more I listened to him in my mid to late 20s, I suddenly discovered how amazing he was.
Similar journey for myself. Now, I didn't go out and think, right, I must go and buy Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
When I had a proper job years and years ago, and I was working in an office, which was very, very boring.
Yeah.
Tap on a computer. Well, that wasn't it. It was a terminal in those days.
Yes,
the
of
computer
course.
was somewhere in the bowels of the company. It was a very, very dull job. Lady opposite me, she was grown up. She was married.
Yeah.
Anyway, she said, husband, he's getting rid of all his records. He doesn't. And she brought in a load of records. I want like that. I said, do you want them? And it was all David Bowie albums and some other stuff. I said, yeah. He said, 5. I said, all right then. And that was amongst it.
I mean,
and if I get my finger in, apparently RCA, the orange,
yeah.
I think it's worth a few bob.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Now, you see, I saw. Okay, we'll come back to Bowie in a sec, but I saw a documentary about Mick Ronson.
Yeah.
who's the guitarist on the album.
Yeah.
Guitarist, stroke. I mean, he's not noted at it, but he's also he did a lot of arrangements.
He did the piano on it as well. I'm just reading it here.
Yeah,
And vocals. A bit of backing
yeah.
vocals, I think.
Oh yeah, and he co-produced it as well. And this is what slightly hacks me off. He did a load of albums, and they toured America in support of that album.
Yeah.
And they had to get a guy in on keyboards, Mike Garson, because Rick Wakeman couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Mike Garson came in and did it. And at no point did anybody talk. At some point, the musicians were talking about money. And Mike Garson said, "It's awful, isn't it? That you've had to take a cut in pay. I just hope that my £800 a week doesn't naff everything up." And the fact of the matter is that the Spiders from Mars, including Mick Ronson, were getting 50 quid a week from the management. And they could only get Mike Garson on board if they paid him that amount of 800 quid a week.
A lot of very unhappy band members then.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that Mick Ronson was instrumental in. I mean, it's difficult to call. Bowie would have got somewhere sooner or later because he was David Bowie. But
this album wouldn't have been what it was without him.
Without Mick Ronson. And Mick Ronson on an awful lot of Bowie albums did string arrangements, did production, but was never credited for it. And died not in poverty. He was saved by Morrissey.
Wow.
He produced Morrissey's solo album, Your Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
But up until that point, he was doing whatever he could just to make a bit of money here and there.
Anyway,
Seems unfair.
shall I go through the track listing?
Go for it, go
on. Side 1, 5 Years, Soul Love, Moonage Daydream,
Daydream,
Starman,
yeah,
It Ain't Easy,
yeah.
Side 2, Lady Stardust, Star, Hang On To Yourself, Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City, Rock and Roll Suicide.
Oh God, every song a Stone Cold classic. Moonage Daydream, I think, has the greatest guitar solo.
For me, Bowie went through. He reinvented himself all the time, different sounds.
Mm.
For me, this was one of the best sounds he had on album.
Do you know what? I think he sort of faffed about and then came out with Hunky Dory, which was the album before this, which had Life on Mars on it and Beauty Brothers. Yeah. So he did a run of albums, which I think it's Hunky Dory, Ziggy Stardust, Aladdin Sane, Diamond Dogs.
All with that sort of sound, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And then he moved away and he did Station to Station. Or he did Young Americans beforehand. Young Americans.
Yeah. And then Let's Dance and all in the 80s, which just reinvented himself again. And
Young Americans had Luther Vandross, who was just a backing singer at the time on there. And then he went and did Station to Station, Low, Heroes. There's just a string of albums which I don't think
quality, decade after decade.
Yeah.
I'll just say, I mean, again, it's the artwork, getting big sized out artwork on your album.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
I've just noticed a little footnote at the back here. It says at the bottom.
Yeah, go on.
It says to be played at maximum volume.
It does, doesn't it? I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
Class. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed that. It took me a while because getting a big usually when you get a new record back in the old days, you get one record.
Yeah.
You've saved up your money for it. You get your record and you play it, and you play it to death, and you play it, and you get into it. When you get a big stack of albums like that, I actually just played the ones I knew.
Yeah, that's fine.
For ages, the only thing I put was Ziggy Stardust, and it was just played. And so I got Suffragette City. I love that song because it's quite rock and roll and rock and roll suicide. So that was the bit I was listening to most of the time. But it was quite a while before I started listening to Bowie properly. Listening to that as the whole album as it should be played, which I think listening to an album in its entirety is just a lost thing nowadays.
I think it is. Yes.
I did some.
No, I think plenty of younger people do that, but not. I think the fact of the matter is that everything is so. It's so much easier. It's fast gratification. It's a world that's been brought on by Simon Cowell, where you just pick whatever comes at you. Streaming is, not helped, but there are a lot of younger people who do like albums and want to listen to albums, and I think the resurgence of vinyl is helping that.
Yeah, I did a year ago. I did a landscape gardening job with my son in the back garden. Took a week to slab things and build walls and things. It was thoroughly enjoyable because son had his Spotify on and his ghetto blaster, whatever it is to amplify the music from his phone. One of those.
Yeah.
And I forget the name now. That makes me sound a real old fart. But anyway, and he said, right, and he actually suggested, we'll pick an album and we'll play the whole album. We won't pick songs, we'll play albums. And we played albums all week. And it was brilliant. So he'd pick an album, and I'd listen, and I'll pick one, and he'd pick one, and I'll pick one all day for 4 days.
You see, that's great.
And
I have to say,
got some into Boomtown Rats through that, because I've put some Boomtown Rats albums on. And
lovely. But I'm also guilty of it in as much as I'm very much brought up in the age where albums are the only thing. And I still believe that albums are the definitive statement. But, I will gladly just go onto a playlist and but I suppose that's just like a greatest hits or now 21 or something like that. It's just a selection of songs that you like.
Have a taste of your beer.
I just did. What do you?
It was a bit smoother there than I expected.
It is very smooth.
I'm losing a little bit of the alcohol, maybe because I'm going downhill. But
you're not losing the alcohol. You're losing the will to detect alcohol.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
But it's rather.
But I think we're holding it together, so we keep going.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll keep going.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, I'm always intrigued. There are bands that are around at the moment that put albums out that I absolutely adore. We both enjoy Wet Leg an awful lot.
Yes.
Don't we? Wolf Alice, a band I absolutely adore.
Right.
They've just released, probably a year or two back. Blue Weekend. I highly recommend that if you haven't listened to that, Nige.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are bands that are putting albums out, which are, need to be listened to as one.
Put this out there. I bought my first bit of vinyl for 32 years the other day.
You did, didn't you?
I'm not telling you what it is yet. You know what it is, but I'm not telling the good people out there yet. Next cheeky extra. I'll put that up there.
Okay.
Just Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Getting into music again, getting into vinyl again. It's a new lease of life. I love just listening to the whole album time and time again. I love it.
Honestly, yeah, this is because what I do is I tend to um, go onto Spotify and just put in
As I do.
a playlist, and you listen to different tracks by different people.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you actually just sit down,
And listen
listen
to
to one album the whole way through, there's something therapeutic. There's something.
as the artist intended it to be played.
Yeah, I remember finding out that bands, when they put an album together, write sort of like 12 songs, and then have to work out where each one goes in the process. It's not kind of like, right, there's 12 songs, bang, there you go. It's thought through.
It's the journey. They're
Yeah,
thinking about the
exactly.
client experience, as we say when you're doing business stuff that I do. It's the client journey.
How are you going with your beer there?
Yeah, well, I'm probably time to say bye-bye to the good people out there.
It could get messy, so let's do that.
Thoroughly enjoying this. If you do see that, that is worth a crack.
Yeah, and if you see it and it's nearing its out of dateness,
It's a
just go
bargain,
for it.
mate.
Yeah, do that.
Anyway,
Until next time. Bye.
goodbye.